What is going on, everybody? What is going on? I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. Make sure, if you have not done so already, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. If you are new, welcome. It is Friday, October 15th, 2021. We are back with the live streams today. As of course, we didn't have one last week because I was busy that day. But we had got a very special live stream on the main channel where I did an interview with Mr. Boyd Cluis on my channel. Shout out to him. If y'all have not checked it out already, I would highly suggest that you do. It was a very good interview. And if you are in this chat, make sure you go ahead and share this stream and let people know that we are live. I would greatly appreciate it. We have a lot of different topics that we're going to discuss today, as you can see by the titles. So let's see, who do we have in here now? Gnome King. I answered that question. Who else we have? Jamal, big salute to you. Ashton was good. J.R. Jackson was good. Ashton said, have you seen the trailer for the new Home Alone movie? I have not. I'm not really interested in seeing a new Home Alone movie. I fell off after the third one, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Come on in, come on in. Make sure y'all hit that like button on your way in. Let's see. Chosen One. PD Chicago hashtag B1 salute to you. What's going on, Till Dog 12? He said Halloween Kills is dope to death, no pun intended. My review is going up for that this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's going on, Alana Letitia? What's going on? What is going on? I hope everybody's having a good week. I don't know where y'all are at in the world or in the establishment, but where I'm at, it doesn't feel like fall weather-wise. It feels like the spring. And I'm not even mad at it because I love the spring weather. I'm a spring baby, so I love the spring. And it's been feeling like that for the last couple of weeks. For it to be fall, it doesn't feel like it. But I'm in no rush for it to get cold because I don't like the cold. What's going on, Black Light Revelations? DJ, what's going on? We will be getting started in about 5 more minutes. Just waiting for the people to come into the chat. As you know, we have quite a few things that we are discussing today. What's going on, Joseph? DSA1. Chosen One said, I like the winter. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the winter. Angus, what's going on? I had to record a Triple P video literally about 15 minutes before this thing got started. It was so last minute because I had just came across the story. So I just recorded the Triple P, but unlike me uploading it right the next day or tomorrow, I'm doing it in a sequential order because if y'all are online in the Discord, I said that I'm doing the Dave Chappelle videos in a saga because there's so many moving parts to it. Y'all got part 1 yesterday, but part 2, 3, and now 4 will be coming very soon. Amara said, what's up, Torian? Did you see Randy Moss challenge Fat Lock to a fight? If Fat Lock bet, I bet he did. The only thing Jason can win is probably a food eating contest. That's the only thing he'll probably win. Alana said, I'm great. I have the woo and self-isolating, no symptoms. Well, I hope you get better. I hope you feel better. What's going on, Pinky JYB? Uncle Sean does it all. What's going on? Who else is in here? Mark Stewart, what's going on? Till12 says, have you checked out Squid Game? Are you? I have not watched Squid Game. I know a lot of people who have been watching it and they like really hype behind it. For me, I don't get into things where it has too much of a hype behind it. I usually wait for the hype to die down, and then if I decide to go and watch it, I'll do it. That's how I was with Game of Thrones. I wasn't watching Game of Thrones until I didn't start binge watching Game of Thrones until like the 6th season, and it was near the end of the 6th season. And then I just binged watch every episode to get caught up, and then that's when I got into it. So that's probably how it's going to be for me with that. I haven't even watched one episode of Stranger Things, but I did hear that it's a good show. Like it really took off like a rocket. It became a global sensation. We're going to get started in a couple of more minutes, in 2 more minutes, and we will get started. Same here, Chosen One. I never watched an episode of Breaking Bad. I was also the same way with The Walking Dead. I didn't start watching The Walking Dead until like season 4. Like I wasn't like on the hype train with that or anything like that until season 4. But I completely fell off of The Walking Dead at like 2 seasons ago, and I think they're in their last season right now. But you know, it is what it is. What's going on, Tina? Get started in 1 more minute. All right, it is officially 4:10, so we are going to get started. Oh, Tildar, the season 3 of American Horror Story, the Coven one, is the best season, hands down. American Horror Story Coven is probably the best season of the entire series, without the shadow of a doubt. Okay, so we are now going to go ahead and get started. Y'all see the topics that are right there below. It's actually one topic that I just added in there that y'all don't see there, but we'll get to it when we get to it. So the first thing I'm going to talk about today is the shadow ban that is pretty evident on my main channel. So in case y'all didn't know, my main channel, Torian Rain Reloaded, is currently under a shadow ban from YouTube. And I know that it is because I know how the shadow ban things works, because I've been shadow banned before in the past by YouTube. And in case y'all don't know what a shadow ban is, it basically means that, and it can come in a couple of different ways. One way it can come is if you leave comments on a channel and people can't see it or anything like that. That's not what happened with me, because I can leave comments on people's channels and I can see people reply to comments I leave, or they'll like a comment that I left. And so I know it's not that. But mine's is the form of the algorithm will not send out my video to people outside of my subscribers, and sometimes won't even send them to my subscribers, even if they have their notifications turned on. So it's almost like my channel gets buried down and keeps getting buried down even more. So usually what triggers a shadow ban is, it could be something you said in the video. It could have been a topic of a video. And one of the ways that a shadow ban can get removed is if you can find the video or videos, it might be just one video though, that triggered it. But because I upload 3 videos a day, except on Fridays, it's hard for me to pinpoint what video actually triggered the shadow ban to kick in. Now, one shadow ban that happened to me back in, I want to say 2018, it happened in April. And I remember it vividly. Like literally, my channel could not move for nothing. Like it would gain subscribers and lose just as many as it gained. Like I remember under that shadow ban, I lost probably about 500 subscribers in a month out of nowhere. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Then I would get people messaging me saying, Torian, I can't find, like, I like YouTube unsubscribed me from your channel and all types of stuff like that. It was literally stagnant, going up and down, up and down, up and down. And it was like, what the hell is really going on? That shadow ban lasted for like a good month and a half until finally in February, I noticed that my subscribers started to climb up and they didn't decrease. I noticed that my views were getting back to where they were. So a shadow ban initially is something that they just kind of throw onto your channel or any kind of social media outlet that you have, because it doesn't just happen on YouTube. It happens on Twitter. It happens on Instagram. It happens on Facebook. It happens on all social media platforms. And it basically stunts the growth of your account. Keeps it from being seen, keeps it from growing, and all types of stuff like that. Now, YouTube claims, they like to claim that they don't do shadow banning. They claimed that they don't, but I know that they do. I'm not the only one who has said that, but they like to claim that they don't, because I had reached out to Team YouTube on Twitter yesterday and I had mentioned about the shadow ban, and they wrote back to me and said that they don't shadow ban accounts. That's a damn lie. That is a goddamn lie. The only difference is between them and like the other platforms that I mentioned is that those other platforms will actually admit that they shadow ban you, and they'll send you an email saying why they did it. It probably won't flat out say that they shadow banned you, but you can pretty much weed out that's what's going on. Because I know where my views are supposed to be at. I know where my subscriber count should be at right now. But like I said, it's probably something that I said in one of these videos that triggered it. Because a lot of this stuff is ran by few humans, but a lot of AI, a lot of computers and robots. So, yeah, that's why I say that, you know, with some people, they say that they can't, you know, they'll have the bell clicked or whatever the case may be. They still don't get notifications. That's why I created the Discord. When I created the Discord, I did that so people could get the notifications whenever I go live or whenever I upload a new video. But the problem now I'm seeing with the Discord is that, and it's not a problem with the Discord, it's the fact that I have over 270 people in my Discord, which I'm very glad to have. That's fast growth to have a Discord server for a month and have that many people there. The problem is that a lot of people are not online. How is it that I have over 271 people in my Discord and it's the same 14 people online every single day? And then you claim, and then you say, oh, I didn't know you uploaded. Well, clearly not, because you're not online to actually get the notification when I post it in the chats. I have 271 people in the Discord, but only 14 people online every day. There's something wrong with that. So if y'all are in my Discord and y'all know if you're in the Discord, turn it on. Even if you're only on just during the day when I'm uploading videos, which y'all know is 12, 4, and 8. Have it on during that time, and then you can go offline if you don't want to engage in the conversations that other people are engaging in outside of me uploading the videos, and you can turn it off and then come back online the next day and continue to do that. But to leave it off continuously throughout the day, that's why you're not knowing that I'm uploading anything. Hold on, I'm about to post the Discord link into the chat right now for those of you who are not in the server. Okay, so I just posted the Discord link into the chat. There it is right there. I know that I had a DJ to address your comment. We said some of those accounts are agents being nosy in Discord. I know which ones are trolls and which ones aren't. That's why I said when you create your Discord account, use the same username that you have on YouTube, and I'll be able to tell. Because one time it was one troll that did get in there, but we got them out of there like with the quickness though. So that's why I say if you are in my Discord, even if you do not stay online throughout the entire day, have your notifications be set to on or be online at the times that I upload videos, which is from the hours of 12 to 8. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a video or go live on this channel, or even my other channel when I do my Freestyle Fridays. Because I know that's why some of you probably leave it off, because y'all don't want to get bombarded with all the notifications when people are talking to each other in the chat. And I understand it, because sometimes, they'll have full-blown conversations in all these chats. I know. But for the sake of not getting notifications the way that you should, that's why I created it. So just be online from 12 p.m., 12 noon Eastern Standard Time to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because that's when I upload my videos every day. And if you want to go offline after that, that's fine, because I don't upload videos past that time or before 12. But yeah, my main channel has definitely been shadow banned for sure. I know that for a fact. I don't care what YouTube says that they don't shadow ban, they definitely do. Many people have complained about it and have said that they have. It has definitely happened, and it's still happening. I get shadow banned by YouTube probably like 4 times a year. I always find a way to say something that triggers something, and the thing is, I never know what it is. Alana says Discord is on in the background with me, but I don't participate in every chat, but I post in the news sometimes. And that's fine. Like I said, as long as you are getting notified whenever I upload a video, because what I do is because I have a bot that's in there that automatically posts the video when the time comes, so I don't have to. Sometimes I'll have to do it myself because the bot may not do it on time, but a lot of times it does. Now, when it comes to the premiere videos, that one I have to actually manually post myself, because it's not considered a private video until made public. It's actually a private video that's already public that just hasn't premiered yet. So it doesn't post the premiere videos. I have to do that. And I'm fine with that. The only difference is sometimes I may not be available when that happens. So, or another thing that you can do for those of you who stay offline, y'all know I upload videos at 12, 4, and 8 p.m. every day. Keep in mind, that's why I created the schedule. I do that so you'll know, oh, Torian's uploaded a video at this time. Let me go and check it out. If I didn't have a schedule, and this is actually to address a comment that I left on my community post. If I didn't have a schedule, y'all would never know when I'm going to upload videos. Y'all would have to guess or just catch it. But if y'all not getting notified, you'll never know. So definitely, if you are in the Discord, please make sure that you have that on. Oh, Dan, you said why use Discord instead of Telegram? Because I have Telegram, but it's for something else, and I don't want to mix this with that. So that's why I keep that separate. Telegram is basically an instant messaging group. It's sort of like WhatsApp. Alliance says sometimes I'm on slow mode in Discord and can't post. That's because I put the slow mode on. I remember I did a trial and error thing with the news, but people went crazy in there, and I said, I'm putting the slow mode back on. But I put the slow mode on in the general one. I have it set to posting like every 2 or maybe every 5 minutes. That way, it's not. That's to slow down from people getting overloaded with so many notifications. Here's the thing: with me being the admin and the creator of the group, I can post as many times as I want because I have admin privileges. So even when I post something in there, you'll still be notified. What's going on, 007 Spidey and HG Squeezy? So yeah, my suggestion is when it comes to the Discord, if you are in the Discord and I'm posting it, again, I have to post it kind of throughout because I'm not in a position to actually pin the post to the chat because I'm looking at the StreamYard link rather than the YouTube link. So there it is again. I'll post it throughout the stream. I'll probably post it at the end of every story that I talk about. But yeah, if you are in the Discord, please have your notifications on, which means you will have to be online to have them on. I will probably have to post this in the community tab. Now, when it comes to the community tab, the notifications go out for the community tab. It's like everybody can see that. But for some reason, when it comes to the videos, I don't know what that's about. So I might have to post that again somewhere in here. Or what I might do is I might do a separate video on my main channel saying what I said here over there. So I'll probably do that. But that's pretty much it when it comes to the whole Shadowban thing. But the Shadowban thing, it doesn't last forever. But the only thing is you don't know when it ends. You'll know when it ends when you realize your views are going back the right way or your subscribers are going the way that they should. So they don't tell you when you get Shadowban, and they're not going to tell you when the Shadowban is up. That's the only thing. And I've been Shadowbanned probably for the last 2.5 weeks now. So that's pretty much it for that. But yeah, now we can go on and get into some of these stories that I have to display and talk to you all about today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And the first story I want to talk about is this one right here, involving this Tennessee judge that was putting these minors in jail on some bogus charges. And I think this is the video right here that's talking about it. Some of you probably have heard about this story, but we're going to talk about it today. Let me enlarge this screen so y'all can see it a little bit better.
A new investigation by ProPublica and Nashville Public Radio has uncovered an alarming pattern of arresting and detaining elementary school children in one Tennessee county. Lisa Desjardins has the story.
Rutherford County, Tennessee, has detained a record number of children, some as young as 7 years old in past years. Some were arrested for playground fights, others for cursing. In one 2016 case, 4 elementary school-age girls were detained for failing to intervene in a fight. A disproportionate number of the children involved and arrested were Black. Maribah Knight from Nashville Public Radio is the lead writer on the report, and she joins us now. Thank you so much, Maribah. The focus is on this one county, Rutherford County, and an attorney there told you at one point some 500 kids he thought had been arrested by mistake and another 1,500 detained over a point of time as part of a jailing system that seems like it was subjective. Essentially, at points, police and judge were deciding on how the kid looked or how the kid was acting in a moment, whether they would be detained. At the center of your story is the arrest of 11 children surrounding that idea of a fight, who intervened, who didn't. Can you explain exactly what happened with those kids and how?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Essentially, you set it up really well. There were 11 children in all that were arrested for watching a fight. The two that were actually involved in fighting were so young, 5 and 6, that they weren't culpable for their actions, but the other children were. And they were arrested under the charge of criminal responsibility, which, as we outlined in the story, was not even a real charge. It's a prosecutorial theory. So one can't be charged with criminal responsibility. One can be, say, charged with assault under criminal responsibility. But that's just the beginning of kind of the myriad mistakes that happened in this case. So yeah, they wound up arresting 11 kids in total using this charge. There were an 8-year-old with pigtails arrested and handcuffed. A 6th grader fell to her knees. A 4th grader threw up in the assistant principal's office when she found out she was being arrested. It was just a terrible, terrible experience for these children and a terrible moment for this system, but it really shined a light on what was happening.
Help us understand the role of those in power who seem to even create this system, an elected judge, and then also police officers. How did this happen?
Yeah, so these arrests, as you outlined, took place in Rutherford County, which, as we write in the story, had been illegally arresting and jailing kids for years, all under the watch of one judge, juvenile court judge Donna Scott Davenport. She has been the county's only juvenile court judge since 2000, when the court began. And she has a really outsized role. She oversees the courts and she oversees the juvenile jail. And up until this incident, she directed police on what she called our process for arresting kids, which basically was every child who was arrested, even for something minor like this or like truancy, they must first go to the jail. The judge told law enforcement this explicitly in a memo. This is not normal routine procedure with children. Then the second part of this is that once they got to the jail, they were subjected to something called the filter system, which was implemented by the jailer, Lynn Duke. And that was an overly broad assessment of what a child was deemed, whether a child was deemed a true threat. I can talk more about that, but it was overly broad, it was illegal, and it was happening for decades.
You know, there's a lot of discussion about this topic of what incarceration does. The judge in this case has argued on radio shows that this policy was meant to build character and that kids would come out of this detention system better. What did you find about how kids were affected?
I had an interview with one child who simply said to me, "We are not coming out better." This has affected children in so many ways. We opened the story with this mass arrest. The children involved in that, many of them had to go to counseling. They were lucky enough to get settlements from the county where there was money earmarked for counseling. But I talked to them and they had bad dreams. They were scared they were going to get picked up at school and arrested again at any moment. There was another young man we spoke to who was kept for 4 days and denied his medication for bipolar. After he was released, he was put on house arrest, and he tried to commit suicide 3 times in the coming year. So the impact on these children is real, it is ever present, and it is wide ranging.
Is this still happening? And have there been any repercussions for the people who put this policy in place?
There have been no repercussions except for the settlements. Some of this has been stopped thanks to federal judges intervening. When lawyers have brought class action lawsuits, they have forced the filter system to stop. They have forced solitary confinement to stop. But the architects of this system are still in power. The judge is still the judge. The jailer is still the jailer. And there's also other mechanisms of oversight that are woefully inadequate that we outline in the story. Just one example is the Tennessee Department of Children's Services. They licensed juvenile jails across the state. They inspected this facility twice a year, and never once did they flag this illegal system. And it was right there in black and white in the manual for this facility. So yes, there's been some consequences as far as money and payouts to families, but the architects are still there and the systems of oversight are still inadequate.
Such important reporting. Maraba Knight of Nashville Public Radio, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so y'all just heard and watched that, and I was watching your comments as it was playing, and I was reading this piece of information right here. It says 60% of minors in U.S. juvenile facilities were held for over a month, while 24% were held more than 6 months, and 8% were held for over a year in 2019. This right here is a new form of school to prison pipeline, in my honest opinion. And the crazy part about it is a lot of these kids that were arrested and put in jail weren't even in school. Like literally putting them in jail for crap, for BS. I'm scrolling down because I'm trying to find out what the name of that person was, because they mentioned it in the article. They're Donna Scott Davenport, been there since 2000, and they said she's the only juvenile court judge since then when it started. So no one else has held that position since then, and she's the only one who has ever held that spot. Now I know Craig is in this chat, or he was, and I know he's from Tennessee, so he definitely, I'm very certain, heard a lot about this story. That's crazy. DJ said the judge failed the bar like 5 times. I heard about that. They said she failed the bar exam 5 times and still was able to become a judge and remain a judge. He says, why haven't the blacks tried to get her out? Here's the thing, DJ, they probably tried to, but when you have that much power and you have a backing, it doesn't matter what anyone else does. Basically, they would have to probably pull some resources to probably buy out her seat. And they probably like what she's doing. They like having that kind of enforcement there. It's all a system. Systemic racism. It's a system. And she's playing her part. And notice she's a palm-colored woman. What if we said that the palm-colored woman is just as bad, if not worse, than her man? Jerome said, I bet there were black kids. How many of you know they won't do this to white kids? They were black kids. I don't know when you came in on the video, but the lady had mentioned that most of the kids that were affected by this were black for some BS charges. Not breaking up a fight. You can actually get arrested for that, according to this judge. Melvin said, did you hear about Chinese dad going off on a black costume telling him to go back to? No, I did not hear about that, but I'm not surprised. But you know, we're the most hated people on the planet, but we're also the most copied at the same time. It's amazing how all that works, right? Noam King says she's elected, she can lose the next election. Apparently, they haven't been having much success, and she's been in there since 2000. We're talking about she's been there for 21 years. She's the first and currently only judge in that seat. So apparently, the people there keep voting her in for a reason. Okay, Noam King said the black people only make up 15% of this city's population, so that's relatively small. So it could be black people that's trying to vote her out and get another person in, but if they only make up 15% and that's a low population size, and you have people there that like her, they'll never win. What's going on, Jordan? Craig said they also have contracts to take juveniles from other jurisdictions. Yeah, they doing a lot. They doing a whole lot with this one. See, they would never put a person like a Judge Olu Stevens in her position. There'd probably be no black people in jail if he was there. But notice that when he did what he did, they tried to get him up out of there. I'm just reading through some of the comments that y'all are leaving. I just posted the Discord link again. If y'all want to get into the Discord, there is the link to actually join if you have not done so already. And if you are in there, make sure that you have your notifications on, which means you have to be online. But yeah, they got to get her up out of there. They got to find a way to get her up out of there. Craig, if you don't mind keeping me updated about her, because I know you live in Tennessee. Because first off, she's been in that position for way too long, for 21 years. She failed the bar 5 times, or took it 5 times. She clearly gets off on doing this. She probably has a smile on her face every time she does it. Like that wide Joker grin smile when she's doing this. But let me move on to the next story. And this is a story, of course, that's been in the news heavily for the last week. And that is John Gruden in all of his shenanigans being exposed to the world. I feel like I don't even have to give a synopsis of what is going down with John Gruden, because by this time, many of us have already heard about what he has done. But John Gruden basically was a coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, and some emails that date back like a decade got exposed where he was talking about just about anything and everybody under the sun, except for probably white people. He was talking about, talking about race. He was being racist, and we're going to get into that. They say he had misogyny in there, and he was, of course, talking about the academy. But the thing that people had an issue with is the fact that they leaned heavily on him talking about the academy more than anything else, especially the racism. And they was like, okay, that's fine that you fired or he resigned, but he was talking about way more than just the academy in those emails for a longer period of time. But it wasn't until he said something about the academy that you decided to make a move. Thus, going back to the point that Dave Chappelle made in his special on Netflix, that a black person can go out and harm another black person, or a black person get harmed by anybody and no one bats an eye, at least not the way that they should. But if you say anything that even is deemed remotely as offensive to the academy, then it's an issue. Even when I was looking at some of the headlines, they didn't even put racism in there. They just said misogynistic and homophobic. That's it. Like, they completely left the part about racism out of the equation, as if he wasn't talking about black people as well in a very derogative way. Shout out to Keyshawn Johnson, because he's been talking and yelling about John Gruden for years, but nobody wanted to listen to him. But then, nobody likes to listen to black people anyway when we try to say what's up, until it's too late. But they said it was a lot of information on them emails. I said this thing could be as bad as the Sony scandal. Who remembers the Sony scandal? Y'all don't remember the Sony scandal that came out a few years ago, where a lot of emails got leaked from Sony, the studio, the company Sony, and there was a lot of stuff in there. But I think it was when people saw stuff about Idris Elba and Denzel Washington that people really was like, okay, this is serious. This is very serious, and we're going to try to get to the bottom of that. They tried to cover that up too, but they probably opened up a slightly Pandora's box when it comes to John Gruden and these emails. But I'm going to go ahead and read this article and see what they're talking about. It was posted October 11th, 2021. It says, John Gruden on emails and resignation. I never meant to hurt anyone. I bet you didn't. Shortly after announcing his resignation from the team, former Raiders head coach John Gruden released a statement in which he apologized to the team's players, coaches, staff, and fans for becoming a distraction. I have resigned as head coach to the Las Vegas Raiders. I love the Raiders and do not want to be a distraction, Gruden's statement read. Per ESPN's Adam Schefter, thank you to all the players, coaches, staff, and Raiders fans of Raider Nation. I'm sorry I never meant to hurt anyone. On Friday, the Wall Street Journal reported that Gruden had used a racist slur to describe NFLPA Executive Director DeMaurice Smith. 3 days later, the New York Times released further emails detailing Gruden's repeated usages of misogynistic and anti-academy slurs directed toward numerous people throughout the NFL, including Commissioner Roger Goodell. Gruden reportedly referred to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell as a clueless anti-football P. Y'all can figure that out, as well as a F. Y'all can figure that one out too. In the emails released by the Times, he also claimed the NFL pressured the then St. Louis Rams to draft Michael Sam, a gay player selected in 2014. Gruden also criticized Goodell and the league for trying to reduce concussions and said that Eric Reid, a player who had demonstrated during the playing of the national anthem, should be fired. Gruden is 22-31 as Raiders head coach since 2018. Those stats are not good. Las Vegas enters Sunday's matchup with the Broncos at 3-2. Following a back-to-back losses to the Chargers and Bears, the Raiders will elevate Rich Bisaccia as the team's interim head coach, according to Schefter. Well, the one thing I will say about the Michael Sam thing, he was kind of right about that. They did try to force the whole Michael Sam thing. I can't even deny that one. They really, tried to force that one. But Michael Sam was a bust, and he would have been a distraction regardless. But either way, John Gruden has been exposed, and this is just a taste of what they said. In this article, they only talk about who he talked about, and slightly what he said, but they don't go into complete and utter detail about what was in those emails, even though we know that this was the bulk of it. But they said these emails date back 10 years. 10 years of stuff, of toxic things that he has said. But like, again, they did not really elevate this until it came out. He said something about the academy. So, again, Dave Chappelle's point was proven yet again. And like I said, Dave Chappelle opened up Pandora's box. And you know what they say about opening Pandora's box? When you open Pandora's box, it cannot be closed. It stays open. So, there's that. Let me see what y'all saying in the comments. Craig said, I wonder what those Washington football teams' emails look like. I bet they're pretty much the same as Gruden's. Probably, you gotta think. Most NFL players are black. Most of the NFL is black, just like most of the NBA is black. Didi said Dave Chappelle was right. Brother Slash said, I quit watching sports after they disrespected Cap. And speaking of Cap, I actually saw the trailer for that new miniseries that they have coming on Netflix about him. I might check that out when it comes on. Let me see. What else are y'all talking about? Tilda also, remember Antonio Brown spent one day with the Raiders and was telling people about Gruden, but they called him crazy. Yeah, that whole Antonio Brown saga was something at the time. Dan said, yeah, I remember the Sony stuff, especially about Spider-Man staying white and never can be gay. LOL. Vulcan said this basically proves Dave's point. Jordan said once he made comments about women in the academy, his fate was sealed. Jerome said, I bet John Gruden is white. You are correct. John Gruden is indeed white. He is a white man. He is definitely very palm-colored. Let's see. Didi said, bye, Klansman. Spidey said, notice how that was two so-called Jays that said those things. Imagine that, right? Amar said, you know, the butt lickers, I don't know if you're saying butt lickers or boot lickers, but either way, are defending that coach. Yeah, I saw some of them that were trying to defend him already. I'm like, just let the man fall. I said, black people, y'all have got to stop trying to carry the water for these people. Let them fall. Let them fall over and deal with their own consequences. That's exactly why they don't face any. It's because you have these people trying to throw out safety nets. But yeah, but the thing is, at the end of the day, John Gruden was allowed to resign, quote unquote. They never mentioned that he's fired, although that's what he needs to be, is fired. Ashton said his apology was not genuine whatsoever. It wasn't, but then again, is it ever? Chosen one said Jason Fatlock defended him. I bet he did. Chosen one said Stephen A. Smith probably did also. Yeah, meanwhile, they on there trying to throw dirt at Kyrie Irving and well, mainly Kyrie Irving. for whatever reason. I mean, well, I know why. We know why. But yeah. But yeah. John Gruden, good riddance. That's all I got to say. So let's move on to the next story that is not getting that many rounds, but I have to address it though. Again, let me go ahead and post the link to the Discord in the chat and come back to this. How many did y'all know that Hellraiser was getting a remake? Put a 1 in the chat if you knew Hellraiser was getting a remake. Okay, Joseph said, Chosen One said they knew it. Okay. Okay. So the movie Hellraiser, which is an iconic horror film, is getting a remake and is getting kind of a remodel, if you ask me. Because now the main character who we know is Pinhead, who you can see right there on the right, is having someone else play him. How can I put this? No, I'm not even going there. So they have now casted this trans actor by the name of Jamie Clayton, basically someone who was born a man and now lives as a woman, to play Pinhead. I said, here we go. Here we go. They said trans actor Jamie Clayton has been cast as Pinhead in an upcoming remake of the very camp, very queer horror classic Hellraiser, and fans are overjoyed. Hellraiser quickly became a cult horror classic when it was released in 1987. The film revolves around Pinhead, the leader of a group of sadomasochistic beings who are unable to differentiate between pain and pleasure. Now Hellraiser is getting the reboot treatment. The new version of the film will debut on Hulu and will see Sensate star Jamie Clayton taking on the legendary role of Pinhead. The new adaptation will be directed by David Bruckner and will also star Odessa Azania, Brandon Flynn, Goran Visnik, Drew Starkey, Anna Faison, Aoife Hines, Selena Lowe, and Hiam Abbas. I haven't heard of any of these people. Fans were also thrilled to learn that Clive Barker, who wrote and directed the original Hellraiser, will serve as producer on the project. In a statement, Bruckner said it was an honor to have Barker on board to guide them through the process of introducing a new generation to Pinhead, according to Empire. That's what I'm trying to figure out, Jennifer. Was he? I didn't know. I did not know if he was or he wasn't. Combined with a fearless and committed cast, including the amazing Jamie Clayton, who fully embodies the role as the Hell Priest, we're aiming to create a very special new chapter in the Hellraiser legacy. Barker added, having seen some of the designs from Bruckner's new Hellraiser film, they pay homage to what the first film created, but then takes it to places it's never been before. I bet you it hasn't, because you're casting a trans actor to play this role. So you, with that said, you are taking it in a whole nother direction. This is a Hellraiser on a scale that I simply didn't expect. David and his team are steeped in the story's mythology, but what excites me is their desire to honor the original even as they revolutionize it for a new generation. The new Hellraiser film will be released exclusively on Hulu in the United States. It has not been yet announced where the adaptation will be released in the UK and other regions. The original film quickly became a hit when it was released in 1987. It managed to dodge a polarized reviews to build a cult following that has endured to this day. The film is, of course, not overtly queer, but there's plenty in there for the LGBT plus audience to get behind. The original Hellraiser was essentially about a man who was really into S&M. Barker, who is in the Academy, once said he based much of his creations in the film on things he has seen in S&M clubs. Okay. Speaking to The Guardian, Barker said there was an underground club called Cell Block 28 in New York and had a very hard S&M night. No drinks, no drugs. They played it very straight. Interesting choice of words. It was the first time I ever saw people pierce for fun. It was the first time I saw blood spilt. The austere atmosphere definitely informed Pinhead, no tears, please. It's a waste of a good suffering. It was Barker's revolutionary approach to kinky sex and the film's old-fashioned approach to camp theatrics that cemented Hellraiser's position as a queer classic. Did anyone get those vibes from the original Hellraiser? Did anyone get those vibes from the original Hellraiser? Somebody please let me know, because I didn't get that. Just reading that last part just gives me an idea of where they're headed with this. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't the only one that felt that way, because I definitely did not get that. I saw someone said I just thought that he was androgynous. No, to the person who's doing this, no, all of this is in your head, or maybe experiences that you had personally. Chosen One said, since they want to have a trans woman play Pinhead, I want a black dude to play Freddy. You want to know what's so funny? That would be interesting to see. A black man playing Freddy Krueger. That would be interesting. Jennifer said, the next thing you know, they're going to have Freddy Krueger with painted nails saying, yes, in your dreams, bitch. Let me stop giving out. Hey, you never know. You never know. They might actually try that. And they'll lean on, well, he did mess with kids. No, nah. Just don't even try it. But yeah, I don't think they should even messed with Hellraiser. They should have left it right where it was at. And if you was going to do a remake of it, why go this route? Does that bring anything to the story besides the fact that the person is trans? No, it does not. Joseph said, and Chucky has I actually watched the first episode of the Chucky TV show, and I thought it was interesting. And what actually shocked me to find this out was that the creator of the Chucky character, Don Mancini, I did not know he was in the Academy until I was watching some interviews on YouTube about the show, because I like to watch certain things and behind the scenes stuff of things to get in more insight of what I'm about to watch. I did not know that he was in the Academy until he actually said that, and he actually made sure to put that into the storyline with the lead character of the show. So, and the thing is, I don't even care, because Chucky is a horror classic. I could have went to my grave and not knowing that he was, or if he wasn't. I mean, I know now because he said it, but it is what it is. What's going on, Marlo Moon? But yeah, I mean, I guess I won't be watching it. It's just me, and it's not because it has it has nothing to do with who they picked to cast to play this. I'm just not interested. So let's move on to the next story, and that is Southwest. Now, let me just say this. Before I actually get into this story, the update that has come from this story is that everything is back on track with Southwest. They are no longer they're not on a boycott or strike anymore. Although that strike or whatever they had going that caused them to have all those massive collective flight cancellations, apparently it worked. It says Southwest Airlines flight cancellations aren't due to the mandate, which you should know. So they say. Let's see. Southwest Airlines canceled more than 2,000 flights this past weekend due to multiple issues, leaving passengers stranded across the U.S. But don't blame the mass cancellations on protests against a COVID-19 mandate getting the scene. Some people on social media have speculated that the widespread disruption was due to pilots on air traffic controllers protesting COVID-19 vaccine mandates. The Federal Aviation Administration and the airlines say that this is not true. They said more than 2,000 Southwest flights this past weekend were canceled. The airline cited issues of weather and limited staffing at Florida airports. So you mean to tell me that you're blaming it on weather and in one location? I beg to differ. I beg to differ. But we'll play along. The airline cited issues of weather and unlimited staffing at Florida airports. ATC issues and disruptive weather have resulted in a high volume of cancellations throughout the weekend while we work to recover our operation, Southwest said in a tweet Saturday. I was watching the news and they literally was posting up the board on in the airports of Southwest only, and all you saw was delay, cancel, 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 delay, cancel, 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 cancel. I did not see one on-time flight for Southwest. Not one. Like, it was just a long board of cancellations and delays. The airline added more details about the issue on Monday. On Friday evening, the airline ended the day with numerous cancellations, primarily created by weather and other external constraints, which left aircraft and crews out of pre-planned positions to operate our schedule on Saturday. Unfortunately, the out-of-plane aircraft continued strain on our crew resources, created additional cancellations across our point-to-point network that cascaded throughout the weekend and into Monday. The FAA confirmed that weather and staff shortage issues, as well as military training Friday near the Jacksonville Air Route Traffic Control Center in Hillard, Florida, contributed to the cancellations. This created a cascading effect for Southwest that continued into Monday, with more than 300 flights canceled, according to FlightAware. They said our cancellations due to the walkouts over the COVID-19 mandates. This is no, according to Southwest and the FAA. A tweet began circulating Saturday alleging a walkout of air traffic controllers at the Jacksonville International Airport due to vaccine deadline for federal workers instituted by creepy Jim Crow Joe. Others on social media suggested Southwest employees are protesting the requirements the company implemented. Representative Chip Roy and Senator Ted Cruz, both Republicans from Texas, tweeted about the cancellations. Roy said he was unsure if this was an airline employees or air traffic controllers rebelling. They would have his support. Cruz put the blame on Biden's push for vaccine mandates. In regard to the rumor of an air traffic controller walkout, flights in and out of the Jacksonville International Airport, where many Southwest flights were canceled, are handled by the Jacksonville Air Route Traffic Control Center. The FAA, which employs most air traffic controllers, said in a statement Monday there have been no staff shortages since Friday. I'm not going to read the rest of this. This is a long article. It's a very long article, so I'm going to stop right there. Jennifer said, my job said if we want to have a Christmas party, we have to take the jab or take the test weekly. I said some of the employees don't wash their hands. Those funky bastards are more dangerous. But yeah, I don't know what to think. They said that the cancellations wasn't because of the mandate. They said it's because of weather and whatnot. I think they're just trying to run interference with this. And who knows, it could be because of weather, but I don't think it's only because of that. Joseph said, missed the flight to Mexico, need to have several seats. Yeah, I remember that. He made himself look like an utter fool. He gonna try to disguise himself. I'm like, Ted Cruz, you are a whole representative. You're a public figure. It's only so much disguising that you can do. And then you didn't have that much of a disguise either. You had your whole face exposed. Like, really? Like most of your face exposed. Like, actually your whole face, because they saw you when you were sitting down. I think it was in the airport and you didn't have your mask on or something like that. Going trying to leave in the midst of a crisis. No one says I've seen too much ratchet-ish happen with that airline. I would never fly with them. I'm surprised you didn't say Spirit, because that's the one I be hearing the most tragedies come from. It's from that airline. So some people are saying that it came from the mandate, but Southwest is saying that it came from the weather. I don't know who to believe. But apparently they are all back on track now, and all is good. Well, let me now move on to the next story. Now, this story right here actually just got added into my lineup because it wasn't there initially. Now, some people probably talked about it. Some people probably didn't. Well, I'm talking about it here. I'd rather talk about it on here, though. And it's about this Atlanta Hawks point guard who took the scene. And after he took it, he ended up getting blood clots, and it basically kept him out for the rest of the season. And not only that, but according to him, the NBA told him to keep this quiet, as in don't say anything to anybody about your condition and where it might have stemmed from. And the fact that they told him to keep quiet means that they knew, and they knew what kind of jeopardy that would have put them in. It is in the midst of the fallout between the NBA and Kyrie Irving, a former Atlanta Hawks point guard has now sounded the alarm on how the scene ultimately ended his season last year and how his team attempted to cover up the side effects he suffered from the shot. 3-year guard Brandon Goodwin was ruled out of the 2020-2021 season halfway through due to a respiratory condition. Goodwin is currently a free agent with nothing to lose, shared the experience of getting blood clots, which he confidently believes came from the scene. I was super tired in the games when we played Philly back-to-back, April 20th to April 30th. I was so tired, Goodwin said during a Twitch stream on October 3rd. I felt like I couldn't run up and down the court. My back was hurting. Then we went home. That's when my back really started hurting bad. Then I'm like, I have to go to the doctor. And that's when I found out I had blood clots. Goodwin admitted that the effects all happened in the span of a month of getting vaccinated. I was fine up until then. Until I took the vaccine, I was fine. So people trying to tell you it's not the vaccine, how do you know? You don't know. Yes, the vaccine ended my season 1,000%. The player remained fair in his retelling of the story and expressed no animosity toward the Hawks, but he did address some confusion about how they handled his hospitalization. Nothing against the Hawks, but they called me the next day while I was in the hospital and told me, we're going to tell the press that your season's over. While anomalous among the vaccinated, there has been correlation between cases of blood clots in the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The FDA and the CDC temporarily advised suspending the vaccine until further data. On May 21st, the CDC reported several cases of blood clots along with 2 reported deaths. Women between the ages of 30 to 39 were at the highest risk of developing this side effect, while the median age range among both gender groups was 40. So there it is right there. So this happened last year. When he took it last, that's crazy. And they said when the NBA went out there and said something, they said we're just going to say your season's over, without giving a reason or a definitive reason as to why, or what. I don't know what reason they gave as to why. They just said that his season was over. But they, like Vogel said, they mad at Kyrie Irving for not wanting to take it. And see, now with this coming out, if this gets enough push, this is going to put a damper on the whole situation. But then you got people like Stephen A. Smith and Jason Whitlock literally tap dancing all over the place, cutting the jigaboo jig at the Jamboree for Massa, as usual, trying to tell Kyrie Irving about himself because they can't tell anyone else about themselves. They need to be told about themselves. And they won't touch this. DJ said, why are they pushing this so hard? That's a good question. It's a big mystery why, but mine is money. Mine is, I truly believe it's a money thing. I truly believe it's a money thing. It hurt the economy bad last year, and they're trying to recoup it. But what can you do? It is what it is. I don't truly believe we're going to completely effectively climb out of this thing, at least not in the way that they think we are. In my honest opinion. Craig said Jay Williams was going to talk about certain jabs getting banned in Sweden, and they cut him off this morning. See, when you don't adhere to what they like, then that's when they decide that you're expendable, and we have to make sure to mute you. That's why on YouTube now, a lot of people are kind of hesitant to say or watch what they say when it comes to this topic, because now, if y'all didn't know, they put out there that YouTube is taking down certain channels if you discuss the scene in a particular way and without warning.
Did you unplug this phone? Don't do that.
All right, y'all, I'm back. I had to go and move some stuff around right quick. Didn't want y'all to be interrupted with a bunch of noise. So what was I saying? Oh, we were talking about that point guard in Atlanta. And again, thanks for the reminder, DJ says join the Discord and engage in conversations and all that extra stuff that's right there. So yeah, mainstream media is not going to talk about this. They're going to keep this as hush hush as they possibly can. But what I was saying was that on YouTube, that they are cracking down on channels who talk negatively about, because it used to be a thing where you get a warning, you have 3 strikes, 3 stir strike you out. Now it's like they'll bypass that and go straight for, we're cutting your channel off. But like I said, for me, I truly chalk it up to it's a money thing. It's a money thing. That's, for me, that's what it boils down to. Is it a money thing? Well, now I'm about to move on to the last story, and that is about this new Superman, Jonathan Kent, not Clark Kent. Hold on, let me turn this off. Not Clark Kent, but John Kent, who is the son of Clark Kent and Lois Lane. They said the new Superman comes out as bisexual in an upcoming comic. And I'm like, okay, here they go again. And then you have the DC Fandom tomorrow. And in case y'all don't know what DC Fandom is basically like a virtual Comic-Con, but for DC property only. So they'll talk about upcoming DC shows, new movies, new comics, new games, anything DC related. And something just tells me they're going to talk about this. Ironically, because look at when they posted it, Tuesday, October 12th, 2021, which was just, 3 days ago? So, yeah, they're definitely probably going to implement this in there somewhere. But the way they have put this out initially, people was thinking, so you're going to make Clark Kent bisexual all of a sudden, just out the blue. But they were talking about his son. And it's like, some people was like, okay, what does this do for the story? How does this drive the story? Like, is he still going to be fighting bad guys? Is he still going to have abilities? Like, what does this do to drive the story? Because if it doesn't do anything, then why did you implement it in there? And it's like, they did an interview with the guy who made this decision. I think his name is Tom Taylor. And he was saying, all about inclusive and being inclusive. I'm like, if I hear that word one more time, I'm getting tired of hearing that word inclusive. But, with representation, all types of stuff like that, because I know it usually comes with that. And I don't think that this is going to sell. They tried to do that same thing with the Tim Drake version of Robin by saying, oh, he's now bisexual. I'm like, why are you doing this? Oh, because we want to be inclusive. Okay, well, here's the thing. Why don't you create new characters and make them that way? But they don't do that because they know that those new characters aren't going to sell. Well, throwing that onto an established character isn't going to make it sell either. Y'all remember, when was it? Last year when they tried to make these new Marvel characters, and they were twins. One was a girl and one was a guy. They were both black. One wore pink, one wore blue. And one of them, I forgot what the other name was, but one of their names was Safe Space. I said, if y'all don't get this crap out of here, who is reading that? Who is reading that? Who asked for that? I said, what they need to do is they need to do some kind of a poll. Do some polling for people who are fans of these characters and ask them, what do they want to see with these characters? Because I can almost guarantee and promise you that it's probably some people that's in the academy that don't even want this. So it's like, what's the point? DJ said he's going to battle toxic masculinity and evil cisgender villains. You know what? They probably will. I would not be surprised if whoever is the writer of this is going to put that somewhere in the text or in the bubble of the character. And my thing is, the community that you're catering to, if they don't want this and they're not asking for it, then what makes you think everyone else is going to want it? Just like that video I did the other day about that Brett Rockman, who was the first openly gay man to be on the cover of Playboy while wearing the Playboy bunny costume. I'm like, who are you selling this to? Because last time I checked, it was heterosexual men who purchased Playboy. So what was that all about? It's like these people are so entrenched into doing so-called representation that they're losing their base. So I always think that it's because of who the academy is that they're doing this to cater to them so they can get some money. I think, like I said in my other video, I think Playboy is doing effectively the same exact thing. It's all, in my opinion, a money grab at the end of the day. They don't care about the actual readers. They don't care about the material. They say, well, we're just going to shoot on this pointless story in here and say that this is what it is. And hope that whatever gets thrown to the wall actually sticks. Well, I don't think this is going to stick. I know for sure it's not going to sell. This thing is going to flop. I'm calling it now. I'm like, if Jonathan Kent was not already bisexual in the comics or as a character already, don't just kind of shoehorn that in there because y'all trying to get more attention to the character. If the character is not a good character, he's just not a good character. And then when it comes to comics, most of the people that's reading it are, but if they're a true comic hood, there'll probably be some adults, but most of these are kids. They don't care about this. Most people who read comics don't care about this. They just want to see the superhero beat up the bad guy and save the day. That's it. We don't care about all of this extracurricular stuff. Because if people did, they would look at some kind of other publication that caters to that. This isn't it. DeAndre said Netflix created a show called Q-Force with LGBT superheroes, and that same community hated. Exactly. Like I said before, many people in that community don't really vibe with stuff like this. They don't, because most of them don't care, because they see it for what it is. Just like that whole thing with Dave Chappelle and Netflix, many of that academy don't vibe with what they're trying to, with what the Hall-T is trying to do, quiet as it is kept. Jennifer said real comic readers don't like change. And if they do make change, don't go overboard with it and do something like this. It's okay if you make some subtle changes that actually affects the storyline, but when you're doing something like this, the biggest question is, what does Jonathan Kent being bisexual do to his story? Outside of a personal, intimate one, what does it do for the Superman universe? Nothing. Nothing. That's just like when I be seeing like stuff pop up on Twitter when they say, this person, by the way, came out today. Okay, whatever. Is that going to cure is that going to cure AIDS? Is that going to cure cancer? Is that going to stop Dub S? No. Is that going to get us our reparations? No. Okay, then. The world's going to continue spinning. Next story. But the thing is, they do something like this for shock value and expect us to be, I can't believe it. Not once did I say I was shocked by this. I'm actually kind of used to them doing it now. I'm just curious to see what character they about to do it to next. But all in all, we see the writing on the wall for what it is. They just throwing stuff out there and seeing what sticks. But they can have it. I'm not reading. To be honest, I haven't even read. I didn't even know really who Jonathan Kent was until this. And that's another thing. They do this because they try to push this thing out there with unknown characters. So they throw this label on them, hoping that people gravitate to who they are. That's not going to work either. So it is what it is. Okay, everybody. That is going to wrap up this week's live stream. I'm glad everybody came in who came over. Again, if you have not done so already, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all share. If y'all have not joined the Discord, I just dropped the link in there. Y'all can join it. Make sure y'all have your notifications turned on for that, because like I said, I think I am Shadowban on my main channel. With that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Have a safe weekend. My Halloween Kills review will be going up this evening at 7 p.m. on the main channel as a premiere. I'll, of course, post it into the Discord and on Twitter so y'all can be notified of it that way if the bell is not working for you. That being said, I'll talk to you all later.